You know what I love reading about? UMass Sports. Hello and welcome into the newest edition of UMass Sports Weekly, your #1 source for all things UMass sports. I'm your host, Tommy Kaludi, and let's get this show on the road. The men's basketball team fought hard en route to a 70-64 victory over George Mason. The Minutemen hockey team unfortunately fell short against rival ULowell 4-2. The women's basketball team had a pair of wins this weekend, battling both Dayton and Davidson. The men's lacrosse team upset number 11, Ohio State, and the women's Lacs continue to dominate as they throttled UNH 16-4. Now, I saw Deadpool last weekend, and it was phenomenal. So in honor of that, we're going to give you maximum effort. This is UMass Sports Weekly.
This is UMass Sports Weekly.
Sunday afternoon, we don't have football anymore, but we did have some UMass basketball as the Minutemen took on George Mason. Our own Tim Dennehy was there with the story.
The UMass Minutemen took on A10 opponent George Mason this past Sunday in the Mullins Center. Jabari Hines kept his hot streak going as you see the steal here and the high-flying action get up as he had 17 points in this game. Antoine Space would also get on the offensive action. If you see a beautiful spin move here, he would finish with 15 points in this game. And a great job by Jabari here as he is patient, allows for the play to get set up, and then drives the lane hard and gives the beautiful reverse finish. The Minutemen are doing a phenomenal job finding the open man. As you see here, Dante Clark nailed the three after creating the open space. The Minutemen would go on to win this game 70-64.
All right, welcome back into studio. Again, we want to credit Jamie Blenden, who did the footage for that. Tim did the editing, of course. So here with Phil Senzo, our dual reporter. He yelled at me for not calling him that, Dr. Dennehy. Now, guys, if I'm reading correctly on these papers, and I do read very well, UMass has been on a little bit of a roll lately.
Absolutely.
I think 3 of 4, something like that. So, Tim, I want to start with you. How did UMass fare against George Mason?
You know, they did really well as a team. They did really well as a team. However, it wasn't necessarily the strongest game that they played, especially in the past couple games when they've been really, really hot. Jabari Hines, Trey Davis, and Antoine Space, they each combined for 48 points. Which is not unusual for this Minutemen team. It seems that in majority of these games that they played, it seems as if 3 are doing a majority of the point, regardless of who these 3 are. Antoine
Great things
Space,
come in threes.
Absolutely.
The 3 Musketeers.
Yes. So Antoine Space.
Great things come in threes.
So Antoine Space, he's really shined this game. He really turned it on. And they were 31% shooting from three-point land comparatively to George Mason's 6. That was a really, really big point in why they won this game. And C.J. Anderson, he took down 9 boards. And so, as far as from a team effort, they really did well. But they definitely did not look as good as in past games.
Mm-hmm. Now, Phil, you and I were talking pre-show. This team has trouble rebounding.
Oh yeah.
You got a big man like Antoine Space that can help some of those problems. How effective and what effect has Antoine Space had since coming back to this team?
Coming back to the team, I mean, he started off very slow, and that was really apparent. We saw that he missed the first half season with personal matters, so he didn't come back until I think it was December or January. So he really missed that first half of the season. It kind of hurt him because he's only getting going right now. I mean, his last 3 games, he scored 7 against George Mason, 6 against Fordham, and 17 versus Duquesne. I mean, that's the most production he's given the Minutemen all season. You can see the confidence in him. He shot a lot. He shot a few threes against George Mason. You see he's getting his feet underneath him. He's getting to the basket. He's giving the Minutemen another option there to go instead of Hines or Clark or Davis or even.
You almost said somebody else.
I was thinking of somebody else. So that's what I wanted to say. No, Space. It's unfortunate that he's getting hot right now in the position that the Minutemen are in. And it's one way it's unfortunate because we could have used him. We could have been in a lot better position. But another way it's fortunate because at least we have 4 games left until the tournament. Hopefully the Minutemen can boost where they are right now in the conference and make a run in the tournament. But Space, he's gotten better as of late, and he's definitely going to be helpful for the Minutemen going forward.
Well, it's always about getting hot at the right time. Like, getting like not so sunburnt, but like very nicely bronzed when you're on a Florida beach.
Absolutely.
This team is kicking in right at the end of their beach vacation, which is the season, and now they're coming back home. The Minutemen have moved up from 12th in the A-10 to 10th. They have some momentum going. Obviously, it's a tough road to get to the A-10 championship, but I mean, as tournament time nears, what do you guys see going forward for this team?
Yeah, I mean, their road does not look good at all. If you want to take a look at this A-10 men's basketball graphic, they, like I said, they picked the right time to really start getting hot. I mean, the next
Starting to bronze now. Nice tan.
Absolutely. The first they got St. Joe's, then St. Bonaventure's, the two Saints. Now that is going to be definitely two of their toughest
That
games.
is a very holy stretch.
It's not.
Very holy stretch. It's not going to be holy for the Minutemen. It's
Yeah,
going to
not
be
gonna be
very, very tough. Then we got a rematch against URI third. That's going to be a really good test for the Minutemen because the last time we played, the Minutemen beat URI. However, they were down 3 of their starters. So I think we'll really see how far the Minutemen have come if URI can come at full strength here.
I think we really know what the Minutemen are at this point. There's no more ambiguity to this team. You know what they can do and what they can't do. They beat VCU, though. I mean, that was a tremendous effort by the Minutemen. Yet you see them, they lost to Fordham, and I think Fordham's the team they could have easily beaten twice, the 2 times they lost to them. So you know what this team can and can't do, really. So I see them against St. Joe's, St. Bonaventure. St. Joe's is the second best team in the conference behind VCU. You can't really tell me the Minutemen are going to win that game. Could they? Absolutely. Are they? I mean, it's to be determined. I don't think it's going to happen. Same thing with St. Bonaventure. We played St. Bonaventure. I mean, it's been a long time since we played St. Bonaventure. I believe St. Bonaventure was the second team they played in conference play way back in January. So
That's ancient history.
I mean, compared to
I read that in a
team.
textbook last week.
So the holy schedule for the Minutemen going forward. URI and LaSalle, though, I think are winnable games. We beat URI, and LaSalle's below us right now in the conference, one of the worst
LaSalle
teams.
is
in the
LaSalle.
conference.
The worst team. Yep.
Yeah, I mean.
So I want to
not
ask you
bad.
guys just real quickly, does winning these games even make a real difference in conference seating-wise, or
absolutely.
is this just immaterial at this point?
I would definitely say it does, Tom, because you look at the pack right now in the A-10. You saw on the schedule. If you look at the pack, it's pretty condensed. I mean, I believe Rhode Island is only 7-7. We're 5-9. So, and Rhode Island's about 8th or 7th right now in the conference. I mean, boosting us up 2 or 3 spots. It's nice going forward into the tournament. So definitely these last 4 games, they definitely matter going forward, especially going into the tournament. You don't want to be going down in a 4-game losing streak.
Absolutely. I feel like as if they're right in the blender. They're right in the blender as far as and they're in the right spot this season on where they want to be.
They're not like right next to one of the blades, but they're
They're in there. Exactly. They're not at the bottom. They're not all the good stuff, but they're like kind of on top a little bit.
floating around. Maybe they diffuse into the blender at one
exactly.
They go towards
Exactly.
the blade, but then they float back up.
Exactly. If we could just
Seems
get
like
them
more
to
of
stay
a
at the
toilet
blender.
bowl analogy than a blender analogy. But you heard it here. They have a chance. This team is getting hot. We know they can shoot the 3, and we know they can run in transition. And we've seen them beat good teams. So
Absolutely.
thank you guys very much. Like we said,
Thank you.
who's our next competitor?
St. Joseph's.
Joseph's.
St. Joseph's going to be a tough game. Watch online and look forward to rooting for the Minutemen. Thank you guys very much. Now, we had a Twitter poll last week. The question was, who did the UMass tennis team beat last weekend? Now, a lot of you voted, and 57% of you got the right answer. The teams being Army and who was the other one? St. Bonaventure. Army and St. Bonaventure, congratulations to 57% of you. You have my grace, you have my blessing. You don't really win anything, but congratulations. I'm sure you utilize Google for that, so real good work on the research. And when we come right back, we're going to be talking some UMass hockey, so stay tuned. This season, the men's hockey team has been like a Transformers movie. You knew it was going to be bad, but you kind of hoped it would be good, and then it just got really, really bad. Unfortunately, that badness really carried over to UMass Lowell as the Minutemen took on the number 11 Riverhawks in Lowell. Unfortunately, they fell 4-2. But the one bright spot, Alex Wakaluk, usually third-string goaltender, started and made 38 saves. I'm here now with Alana, and Liam Byrne. Alana, I want to start with you. How did Alex Wakaluk keep them in the game and keep this team on life support?
Well, I thought they played pretty even in the first period. He stopped 13 shots and kept it scoreless in the first, which was good. I thought the Minutemen came out strong. They put 3 shots on Boyle, their former teammate, former Minutemen. But like I said, they got a strong start, but it pretty much went downhill from there. This could have been a blowout game, but like Tommy mentioned, Wakaluk put up 38 saves, which kept this from being a complete blowout. And we're going to take a look at his first five starts this season, all 5 starts he put up made at least 20 saves. 3 out of 5 made at least 30 saves. And I think the Minutemen have played some pretty good hockey in front of him. If you look at their shots on goal, they're getting pucks to the net. They're doing well on the penalty kill. So I think this team likes to play in front of Wakaluk. And I'm not sure why Micheletto hasn't played him more. I think, next year it would be in his best interest, if he's still the coach, to play this guy a little bit more.
Well, we never like to speculate as to whether coaches are staying or not. I'm just kidding. We're journalists. Of course we do that. Now, Liam, Alana talked about shot discrepancies. That's really what you want to talk about. In this UMass Lowell game, the difference was outstanding. Yeah. The difference between shots and how much better UMass Lowell played, especially throughout the first half of the game. So give the fans a little bit of insight into how that played out.
Well, yeah, it wasn't more of UMass Lowell, but more of how UMass was shooting based individually. The unevenness for the Minutemen has been something that they've been struggling with their whole season, really. As you can see here, Shane Walsh, he had 7 shots. He led the team with 7 shots. Got a goal out of that one. Yakubelis, 3 shots. Gallagher, 3. Baxendale, 3. Yakubelis, 2. And Krepchenko, 2. And you see the unevenness with Shane Walsh was 7. Everyone else was just around 3 and 2. So you have to find a way to get the puck around and definitely get more of your guys shooting the puck and hopefully getting it in the net. You can't have Shane Walsh scoring all the time and shooting all the time. So yes, he is your senior captain of this team and a veteran, but everyone's got to be involved, and that's how you got to win hockey games, especially for the Minutemen this season, Tommy.
Now, Alana, it's funny, he mentioned senior leader, senior captain. Steven Yakubelis is the captain as a junior. We got 2 seniors this year, Ben Gallagher and Shane Walsh, and a lot of us here were shocked when Shane Walsh wasn't named captain, especially after the year he had last year and the year he's having this year. So give us a little hint into, what the statistics like of this year's seniors versus last year's.
Well, I think that leadership has definitely played a big part in their not so successful year. If we look at last year's seniors in comparison to this year's seniors, there was 5 seniors last year, and this year we only have 2, but yet Walsh and Gallagher have dominated in pretty much every category besides assist up until this point in the season. So the fact that there's only 2 seniors this year, 5 last year, and they still can put up these numbers, but look at the records. We're only 2 and 12 in comparison to last year. We were 5 and 8 after the new year. So that just goes to show you that, despite the talent that the seniors have this year, that maybe character and leadership is what the Minutemen are lacking. I mean, obviously there's some coaching issues, but I think that that's played a major role in, this demise.
Now, Liam, just build off of that for me to close. Do you think that character and leadership, and the lack thereof, has something to do with this team, or do you think it's just a total, non-commitment to the cause?
I think it's both, really. You can't be successful if you have a bunch of guys who can't work together. In sports and in general. So.
You ever seen The Apprentice? It just doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. It's just a bunch of people
Congress.
trying to. No. Let's not get into that. But for the Minutemen, it's just too much. Like you said, it is definitely the character, and just the way this team has been playing this season hasn't gone well with how they're trying to play and what they're trying to do in the Hockey East. So there's so many things wrong with this team, and hopefully next season we'll find a better way to talk about this team, except being negative for the past 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Well, last season you had an established captain in Troy Power, who was a 5th-year senior. He had the respect of everybody. He respected people around the league, too. He was a great guy, put up a lot of points, too. And now this year you have Steven Yakubelis, a junior. Maybe there's some trust issues over that. Maybe some seniors are salty. But either way, obviously something needs to be fixed. Now, season's not over for the Minutemen. Every team does make the Hockey East playoffs, so the Minutemen do have a chance of winning the Hockey East if they can go on a bit of a run. Also, I'd like to thank Brendan Baxendale for coming into to this segment with Brittany. That was also very nice of him. He's been on a little bit of a streak lately, scoring a couple goals in the past couple of games. But other than that, there has been a lot to look forward to. So
our Twitter for that video actually got a lot of likes.
Tell us what that video was.
The video was the This or That segment with Brendan Baxendale, and that was a good 45-second video of just some non-topic, this or that non-topic hockey-related stuff. So check it out. Check our Twitter and YouTube and everything.
So yeah, Brennan, thanks for coming in. Remember when I used to drive you around because you had that injury freshman year? Because I did do that. So thanks for coming in, and hopefully we get a few better things to talk about as the season winds down.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys. Now don't touch that dial because we have women's basketball coming up next, and they've been on quite a win streak. So stay tuned. The women's basketball team has been on a roll of late, winning their last 3 games against Fordham, Dayton, and Davidson. Now, Liam Byrne also told me this is the first time they beat Davidson in 9 years. 9 years. A long time. Now, I'm here with Allie Furlow. Allie's been covering them all season. So, Allie, what have you seen the Minutewomen been doing differently over the past couple of weeks that's really improved their play?
Well, to be honest with you, Tommy, they look like a team on and off the court. They've been playing smarter. They've been making those 3-pointers. They've been making the free throws. And 4 players in the last 3 games have scored in the double digits. Sierra Dillard has been the one that's consistently had scored in the double digits in all 3 games. So I just really think that they've been playing like a team and playing like they really should have been this whole entire season.
It's been nice to see Sierra Dillard give Bria Stallworth the help she needs because she's been the one carrying the load, really, and Rashida Timbo has been stepping up big time, especially in the rebounding category now. Allie, the Dayton game was huge because it's that second win in a row. It's important in building momentum. Who was your MVP in that game?
Well, as you just already mentioned her, Bria Stallworth was my MVP for Dayton. She played 35 out of the 40 minutes. She was the second highest point scorer for UMass with 24 points, and she went 5 for 7 on her 3-pointers.
Well, that's definitely impressive, and I mean, if she steps up, usually the whole team steps up, so that's been great. Now, like I said, Davidson, been 9 years, so obviously this MVP was real important. Who was it?
It was Sierra Dillard, no surprise there. She played 30 out of the 40 minutes of the game. She was the highest scorer of the game for both teams with 23 points, and she went 4 for 5 on her free throws.
Now, Allie, the A-10 tournament is a week from today. The Minutewomen have, I believe, 2 games left.
Yes.
So what do we see going forward? What can we expect for these 2 games? And I talked about it with Tim and Phil with the men's basketball team. How can these last 2 games affect seeding and improve their chances going into the A-10 tournament?
Well, Tommy, let's take a look at the current standings as of today for the A-10 tournament. So the Minutewomen are in 13th place. LaSalle is in last place, which is actually who they're going to be versing on Saturday. Now, they've already lost to them 66-57 the last time they played them, but they do have the home court advantage. Tomorrow night, they will be playing URI at URI, so I think that they actually do have a chance of winning against them. They only lost by 1 point when they played them last time here, so we should definitely see a couple wins out of the Minutewomen.
Now, they're streaking. They're a young team, so they get hot. There's no telling when they're going to stop. Do you see this team making some noise in the A-10 tournament, or do you think they're a one-and-done team?
I'm going to be honest. I think that they probably are going to be a one-and-done team. This year has just really been them building and getting better at what they're doing. And they were on an 11-game losing streak for most of this season, so I don't really see them going that far in the tournament, but they can surprise me. You never know.
Well, there you go. They could surprise her. They could surprise me as well. Keep winning because that would be great. Thank you very much, Allie. Now, don't touch that dial because when we come back, we have Ohio State on upset alert. That's right. The Minutemen lacrosse team beat number 11 Ohio State, and Liam Byrne and John Anderson come in to break that down. So don't move. I'm serious. Welcome back into the set. Now, as I said before the segment started, you heard me correct. The UMass men's lacrosse team did beat number 11 Ohio State, knocking them out of the top 20 rankings. Now, I'm here with John Anderson and Liam Byrne. Guys, thanks for coming in. Now, I want to talk to you first, John. UMass lost to Army, a ranked team.
Hold on, Tommy, 1 second. Are you wearing my glasses right now?
Am I?
Yeah, I think those are mine.
Oh, I don't even wear glasses.
Oh, I don't know, man.
I don't know what happened.
I lost them.
Guys.
Anyways,
I'm always messing things up like that. But really, down to business. Now, UMass lost to Army, a ranked team. Ohio State is better, ranked higher than Army was. What did UMass do differently in order to get this win?
Well, unfortunately, the transitive property doesn't apply in sports, as we've seen through many sporting events throughout the years. And the escape answer would be that they scored more goals than Ohio State this time around. But and I know I have gone with that answer from time to time. But Tommy, every aspect of the game they did better than against Army in the previous game. Specifically, if we look at the offensive scoring, UMass was just getting scoring from everywhere. They had hat tricks from Buddy Carr, who actually had 4. Peter Lindley, back from injury, 3 goals and an assist. Gianni Biancan had a hat trick in the first 17 minutes of the game. Goals elsewhere. Dan Muller scored a goal with about 0.2 seconds left in the first half of play as the buzzer went off. Jake Lasoskas, Noah Rack won a face-off, went down and scored one.
You racking them up.
Tyler Bogart, the freshman from CM, got in on the scoring. Ben Spencer, who had 2 goals last week, got in the scoring. And Grant Consoletti as well. And elsewhere, if you look at the right side of that graphic, they outshot Ohio State by a lot, 37 shots. They won the ground ball war 36-24 as well.
It was a war indeed.
They were forcing turnovers. They were clearing the ball when they needed to. And UMass was a little bit penalized in that game. They gave up 4 penalties, but they killed off every single one of them, including a 2-man down opportunity. And then if we look elsewhere to the transition game, like I said, 15 of 16 on clears. And going the other way, UMass was giving Ohio State hell on the transitions. Great games by the defensive middies and transition middies, such as Dylan Gruder and Shane Rinkus, Austin Weeks, all of them filling in that one spot that last year it was Brendan Schroeder, Noah Rack, and Austin Spencer doing all of that. But now they've got Jake Marino as well stepping up. They've got all these players.
He's not related to Dan, is he?
No, he's not related to Dan. Actually, I think Jake Marino actually came closer to winning a Super Bowl than Dan Marino did.
That's right.
But and then if you look defensively, the close D, the 3 seniors, the 3 captains, they were playing great. I forgot to mention Kurt Hunziker as well, senior captain.
Can't leave him out.
Also had an amazing game. And a little bit of luck as well. Buddy Carr had 6 turnovers as well as the 4 goals in the game. Ohio State had a few shots go off the crossbar, and UMass did get lucky with a few last-second goals. They had Ben Spencer's goal was with about 0.2 seconds left on a stall call that would have sent it the other way. So UMass got a couple lucky bounces, but ultimately 16-9 was the final score. So that's, it's not just luck that does that. UMass did everything right in this game, and the goaltending was great too, which is what Liam will touch upon in a second.
John alluded to it. Liam, UMass has been splitting the goalie duties between DJ Smith and Dan Dolan. Now, obviously, giving up 8 goals to a team like Ohio State is fantastic, but a lot of guys would prefer you stick with one goalie. Do you see Coach Cavanaugh sticking with one goalie, or do you see him moving between these two for the rest of the season?
I think if it's working, stay to it. If you're beating teams like Ohio State, number 11 in the country, why not go for 2 goalies? I mean, it wouldn't hurt. But I think if one of them isn't playing as well as the other, mid-season, I think yes, it would definitely be time to switch it up. So both these guys have had great experiences in goal past 2 games. So Dolan and Smith, the Save brothers. So they've shown UMass can be recognized as one of the better teams in the country. Dan Dolan is a sophomore. Last 2 games, you can see 4 saves versus Ohio State, 3 goals against, and he had 9 saves and 5 goals against versus Army. And DJ Smith, he's a junior, 3 saves, 6 goals against versus Ohio State, and 4 saves and 4 goals against versus Army. But looking to Saturday's game for UMass, they take on their Massachusetts rival, number 15 in the country, Harvard. Harvard's coming off.
Those guys are smart.
They are. They're smart dudes. And they're pretty good at lacrosse, too. So, they're coming off an overtime victory over Villanova, 13-12. And today, they got another overtime victory, double overtime victory against Holy Cross. And I guess, if they like to be played in overtime. So if the Minutemen can get through this, they definitely have a shot at being top 20 in the country. So Harvard, they average 38.9 shots per game, so that's where the goaltending will definitely come in, and defense. UMass shoots an average of 26.5 shots a game. And last year, another heartbreaker that we had against Harvard. 14,
I was going to mention it.
Yeah, 14-13. So
14-13 in overtime as well. And as the Ohio State
Damn Harvard
rankings.
It's like they have some formula to overtime.
It's because it's the Harvard bars.
The Harvard bars.
They're parking their cars in Harvard Yard, and we just can't get in. That's actually how I talk too.
Is it? Well, yeah, it is. Yeah.
Right,
it's all right.
So, guys, I want to talk just looking forward. How realistic is it for you guys right now, looking at this team, to see them being ranked? Whether it be between 20-10, 10-1, where do you see them falling? If so, in the top 20, and why?
I'm thinking that they can break, especially like Liam said, with a win over Harvard. I can see them breaking 20 easily.
Definitely.
It's not big, and especially at this point of the season, clearly you can tell by Ohio State being ranked number 11. Anyone can be ranked at this point in the season.
Yeah.
You know, it's really in like a month or two where a ranking really means something. But right now, it's like no one knows anything about any of these teams.
That's true. That is
It's
true.
all an enigma.
It is. Yeah.
The inner
Yeah.
machinations
But I think,
of my mind.
I definitely think if UMass beats Harvard this Saturday at Garber Field, we'll have more than just a vote. We'll have hopefully a top 20 bid in the country in the Inside Lacrosse polls.
Well, there you have it. This men's lacrosse team is definitely something to be reckoned with, and this win against Harvard could be real big. Thank you guys very much. Unfortunately, that's going to do it for us this week. Again, sorry we could not get to women's lacrosse. We did not have enough analysts. Again, they did beat their opponents 16-4. I promise we will be covering them as best as possible next week. But, like I always say every week, you follow us. What's wrong?
Nothing, you're just funny looking.
He's sad that we're ending the show.
He must be sad, you're right. But if you don't want to end the coverage there, you can follow us on Twitter. We tweet everything. I just put myself in the Twitter group and I get blown up every day. It's miserable, but it's great for you guys. We got a Snapchat, cover all the home games. You get great images of that. We got a Facebook. I believe there's an Instagram.
We got a snap face now, too.
Jake's work, Snap Face,
Snap
Snap.
Face back.
We got
Face back app.
We got Periscope. I always tell you to watch Periscope. Jake's using it right now. He's starting to scare me, but it's fine. And like I say every week, we'll be back here next week, Tuesday, 7 p.m., Channel 19. This was UMass Sports Weekly, and I'm Tommy Kaludi saying have a good week, UMass.